Hello everyone, it's November 5th, a sunny autumn day here in Seoul. I'm Sun Ji-ae, and these are your top stories. Tensions heightened along the inter-Korean border Wednesday after a North Korean man was apprehended as he crossed the eastern part of the heavily fortified border into the south. The South's military command said he was apparently attempting to defect, but an investigation was ongoing, amid concerns raised about the fact that it took the South Korean military about 14 hours to apprehend the man. The military said it had raised a state of alert for its troops during those hours, but then lowered it. Meanwhile, in another part of the border, South Korea was marking the resumption of tours to the demilitarized zone between the two Koreas that were suspended for more than a year upon the outbreak of the swine flu in the region. At the ceremony, the South Korean unification minister called for better relations with North Korea.
이처럼 판문점은 남과 북 간의 벽이 아니라 통로이고 반드시 다시 이어져야 할 길입니다. 사랑하는 북녘의 동포 여러분, 이 길을 따라 더 큰 왕래로 갑시다. 남과 북이 새로운 평화의 시간을 다시 설계해 나갑시다.
Minister Lee In-young urged the North to implement a 2018 deal to allow the people of two countries to move freely around the truce village of Panmunjom and proposed holding a reunion of families divided by the Korean War. On the day of the U.S. presidential elections, North Korea emphasized its strong ties with China, calling it an undefeatable friendship. The North Propaganda Weekly wrote that the two countries share a long history and tradition of closely cooperating with one another towards common interests. Analysts say the report is part of the North's efforts to maintain close ties with China in light of the deadlock on nuclear negotiations with Washington and its economic difficulties at home due to such factors as recent natural disasters and the coronavirus pandemic. Internally, the North held a meeting Wednesday of the Supreme People's Assembly and adopted laws restricting the production, sale, as well as the smoking of cigarettes. The meeting also strengthened the laws to get North Korean firms to conserve energy. After a reporter covering the funeral of the late Samsung chairman Lee Gun-hee tested positive for COVID-19, all those who paid their respects at the funeral parlor during the mourning period were notified that they too needed to be tested and self-quarantined. With Samsung being the largest conglomerate in Korea and the world's biggest producer of smartphones and semiconductors, this list is reading like the who's who of Korea. Many economic government heads, including the Minister of Finance, as well as the Minister of Industry and the head of the Fair Trade Commission, were tested and out of commission while they awaited results. Political leaders from both the ruling as well as opposition parties were also tested and self-quarantined. And leaders of many of Korea's biggest conglomerates, including Hyundai and SK, underwent the same process. It was not immediately clear if any tests came back positive. But according to health officials, nearly 1,000 people visited the funeral parlor to pay their respects to the late chairman. And those were your top stories. Stay safe, everyone, and remember to subscribe to Korea Now. Sun Ji-ae out.